just in there somewhere.
Following the devastating fire that burnt through this valley in 2019, the Blue Mountains World Heritage Institute established a team of researchers to assess its impact on this iconic forest. These trees and the ecosystem that supports them are under threat from more frequent and intense droughts, fires and floods driven by climate change.
So it grew all the time with a weakness for maybe 40 years. But I mean, this had just enough local storage of material to form tiny little epicormics last year, and then they dried within probably a week. This was a dead tree.
By studying the process of regeneration in this stand of Eucalyptus denii, or blue gum, we hope to better understand the impact of the changing climate on this unique ecosystem.
The fires come and go, and they have come too frequently in recent time, with the result that the regeneration of this forest has been slowed down to virtually zero. And after this recent fire in 2019, we now see young blue gums coming up in sporadic areas. So here, there's some, here, there's no. So we are measuring some of those and mapping their regrowth. The epicormic growth comes as a result of damage. The tree is responding by producing hormones that then activate the epicormic buds that are dormant, and suddenly they come to life and they sprout out over the trunk.
This is one of the trees of interest in the forest. A whole bunch of different features on it. Obviously you can talk about its height, its width, and you can measure that with tape measures. But there's other features, you know, what it looks like, the cavities that you have in it, and the bowls that form. The new technology that we're experimenting with is LiDAR and photogrammetry capture. So it's like taking video. It takes a whole bunch of photos around the tree, and it uses LiDAR, which is a way of getting depth of objects. And what it's able to do is create a 3D model of the tree. And then you can measure that. So I can measure from one side of the tree all the way around to the other side, and I can see, well, it's 1.7 meters in diameter.
A critical element in the stability and regeneration of this forest after a major fire is water. Too much and it can erode the alluvial soil, weakening the root system and vigor of mature trees. Too little and they die.
During the 2019 fire, more than 70% of the area was affected by the wildfire. It's important not only because it's drinking water source for Sydney region, but also water is, as I always say, the source of life. It connects everything that's in the ecosystem.
We're actually on the Grose River here, just above the junction with Govetts Creek. And this shows you the power of the combination of a fire which took about 98% of the cover off the soil and rocks of the area, followed by a massive flood within a month or so after it. But here in front of me, you see the stream that's been blocked up by the power of that flood, bringing the sediment down. And with it, whole lots of trees fell in from the river and were brought down from further up. It blocked the old channel of the Grose River here, and then made it come down through an older channel in front of us here, which you see, with the banks of shingles that were built up at the time of that flood.
I'm developing a water quality and quantity hydrological model that monitoring, simulating, and predicting what happens after fire or when fire happens to the stream and the ecosystem.
What we set up here is a camera trap. We use it together with some software that basically tracks the movement of particles down the stream. And if you combine that with cross-sections of the river and the height of the river, you can approximate what the flow volume is passing through this section. Once we've got our estimates, what we're going to use them for is to validate hydrological models that we've developed for this region. What we're interested in is to look at how changes in vegetation, for example, from bushfire through climate change, how those changes may be impacting the hydrology within this catchment.
With this dynamic model of the forest ecosystem, we can study the likely changes that more extreme weather events will have on this forest in the future. The predictive capacity of this computer modelling will support more targeted intervention by government agencies faced with managing the impacts of more extreme droughts, fires and floods. It may also be possible to prevent further degradation of this unique blue gum forest.